Monday, August 26th already. Welcome on back to the Damon Bruce Show here on Damon Bruce Plus, brought to you by Ike's Sandwiches, baby. It is awesome to have you here. I have good news to start today's show with. Most importantly, the number one headline is preseason football is over. Thank God. We all got through it together. The 49ers come out of the preseason mostly unscathed, and that is the good news that we begin today's show with, because the 49ers got some really good injury news over the weekend. 2 preseason injuries coming out of that Raiders game, which gave everyone a scare. You know, they don't have that much defensive end depth. So to see both Leonard Floyd and Yetur Gross-Matos leave that game with injuries gave a little everybody, well, Floyd is day-to-day, and Gross-Matos is week-to-week. A little bit more precaution is going to be thrown Gross-Matos' way, but he could still be out there for week 1. Obviously, this team doesn't think that there's anything so severe about this injury where they're going to risk him sitting the first month of the year by putting him on IR. So good news for Gross-Matos. And Leonard Floyd, you know, that guy, when it's time to play football, he's just usually out there. He is hard to stop playing a football game. And that's part of the reason why I think the 49ers went out and invested in him, because he's dependable. That guy is game day ready. And he's day-to-day. He's day-to-day. That is officially good news. So good news greeting the 49ers in a tough week around an NFL franchise, because tomorrow is the day you got to cut down to 53. This means some dreams will be made, more dreams will be dashed, but we'll see who put it on film in the preseason to maybe catch on somewhere else. There was a time and a place in the 49ers competitive life cycle where, like, Mike Nolan would go about making his cuts, and those players were never heard from again. Nobody. If you couldn't make the 49ers back in the day, you couldn't be in the NFL. That's how bereft of real up and down the roster talent this franchise was. It is the exact opposite of that right now. So much talent that they're having trouble paying for all of it, which is odd, because I'm also getting the stories that the 49ers have the most amount of cap room. So which is it? You know, how can you have the deepest, most talented, most Pro Bowl laden roster and still have the most amount of cap room? Doesn't seem real. But the deal is, cap room is easily manipulated. It is all wires, which if you pull one over here, you can let this one go a little more slack. You pull up this slack, this one dangles a little bit more. It's all of a balancing act. And that's why those who put together, you know, NFL cap numbers need to know that it's time to quit jerking around with your numbers and get in one guy in particular. But before we get to all of that, again, welcome. It's great to have you here. My name's Damon. We're going to be going live at the 2-minute warning of 49ers games all season long. So what that means is hopefully you plan on liking and subscribing to this channel. You hit the notify button. That means you will be there when we go live. No matter when we go live, it will come boop right to you. Hit like on this stream to help it grow, help it populate, help that algorithm picking on up. Let's see. Are you in here right now and you haven't hit a like button? Why are you working against me? Hit a like button just for your boy. Don't wait until the show's over. Please do it right now. And look, not only are we brought to you by Ike's Sandwiches, not only have we got crazy love for the Dubliner, but you can also see that this live stream is powered by BetUS. Now, if you're looking for a new book right now, you can find a link pinned to the chat section in this video. You can find a link in the description to this video as well. And right now, I want you to check out BetUS, because all of your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 will have a 125% bonus just plugged right in. 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Check out BetUS.
US.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.
And like I said, when it comes to crazy love, there is no one in the world we have more crazy love for than Ike. because he's got sandwiches and love just waiting for you. Over 100 locations. The Mission Rock location, his newest location in San Francisco down by the ballpark, is serving Ike's hamburgers. I don't want you to just think of Ike's as a sandwich for lunch. I want you to think about it as a delicious meal to bring home and a crowd pleaser. Get yourself to Ike's. Download that app. Be ordering on the Ike's app and earn your way towards free sandwiches, baby. Who doesn't like a free sandwich? And who doesn't like a perfectly poured pint of Guinness? Thanks to our friends at the Dubliner and West Portal. Go say hello to Kenny and John. They are ready to meet you and greet you and seat you and give you everything you'd ever want in a friendly neighborhood bar. Great place to hang out. Great place to listen to a tune, catch a game, talk about glory days. Whatever you need to do in a bar, you can do it at the Dubliner. Check out Dubliner West Portal. Got nothing but love for them, for Ike's, for BetUS, again, sponsoring today's stream. Thanks to all of my sponsors. Support this show by supporting my sponsors, by hitting a like button, by hitting subscribe. Thank you so very, very much. Let's get into Trent Williams, shall we? What is taking the 49ers so long to get this deal done? Because if missing the preseason was part of the design of this holdout, and I completely believe it was, and I'm not going to begrudge Trent that at all, the fact that the day after the final preseason game for the 49ers, you got Trent Williams coming out and going public with the fact that he is comfortable and is willing to miss regular season games to get the deal done that he wants. Well, that would be stupid. That would be galactically irresponsible on the San Francisco 49ers' part. And what is the there that comes with winning this negotiation with Trent Williams? Where is the, well, now everybody in the league just got their lessons served up by the I don't understand why this guy would be the subject of, we're going to screw around with him. Because you know what he's not? He's not on a rookie contract. You know what he's not? He's not a first ballot. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Brandon Aiyuk is not those things. I could see how the 49ers are looking down the bridge of their nose at the Brandon Aiyuk situation and thinking, we need to set a tone for our franchise. We need to not acquiesce to a guy on a rookie deal who has an agreed upon fifth-year option. We need to play a little hardball here. We don't want Brandon Aiyuk resetting how business is done, even though what Brandon Aiyuk is asking for is all sorts of normal in NFL business behavior. It really is. This Brandon Aiyuk situation is muddled up by the confusion as to who he is and what he's worth, not only to the team, but in the hierarchy of other NFL wide receivers. There is no such debate to be had with Trent Williams. There is no who is he among the Niners or among the NFL. Who he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Who he is this team's best offensive lineman since Joe Staley, and that's a matter of fact, okay? This guy is not the guy you screw around with. This guy is the guy that you pay and you sit back and you put your arms behind your head and you go, even though that was expensive, it was totally worth it. Jillian and I are working on a little bit of a tighter budget than we've been used to since I got laid off, but we said to ourselves, we are going to those Sphere shows in Las Vegas that Fish is happening because to us, it'll be worth it. And it was. That's more money than we wanted to spend, but zero regret. Trent Williams might be a little bit more money than the 49ers want to spend, but zero regret. And I'm just telling you right now, convert some of his guarantee. Well, he's battling for guaranteed money. Convert some of his salary into guaranteed money, roll it over into a signing bonus again. There are all sorts of ways to move money around an NFL salary cap. This is one guy you move money around to accommodate. What are you doing? What are you doing? By the way, we got nearly 150 people in the room right now. Do we have 150 likes? Do we? Ask yourself, have I helped? Am I part of the solution or part of the problem? As always, thank you so much for being here. You got a lot of options. It's awesome to have you here. When it comes to the 49ers offensive line, they do not have a lot of options. You know, I put out a video concerned about wide receiver depth, and I think there's a concern there. The concern about Trent Williams turns into DEFCON 1 level panic without him. And it's real simple. Pay the guy what he wants. How much easier of a negotiation can you get than that? Pay Trent Williams what he wants because he is the cornerstone of protecting the franchise. And the franchise's name is Brock. Is it not? Is Brock Purdy about to be worthy of the protection of the single highest paid quarterback in the history of football? I would say, yeah, he probably is. So if you're the 49ers, you probably want to arrange that since he's sitting in your fucking locker room already, and signing Trent Williams, again, should not be hard. It's like, do you want a cheeseburger? Yeah, put some cheese on that. That isn't even a difficult question. Do you want Trent Williams starting against the Jets in week 1 in their vaunted defensive line? Yeah, put some cheese on that. Put some cheese on. You know what? Bacon too. Go for it. Go for it. No regrets. No regrets. What are we doing? This has got to be the easiest pay that guy there is. What is to be gained? What is to be earned? What is the lesson you're trying to impart upon your own locker room and players in the league and all of their agents by fucking around with Trent Williams? I could see how there is some X marks the spot to playing hardball with Brandon Aiyuk, even though it is through murky lenses that I can actually see that. I can't really see it. I can't focus on it. And I think that the 49ers are focused on the wrong thing now with Brandon Aiyuk. Pay that guy to get in here. Your offense did not look great this preseason. Get him in. Get him in, get him in, get him in, get him in. When it comes to Trent Williams now, if I have to tell you to get him in, I mean, what are we even talking about? How can you be in charge of running a franchise if that guy is not your priority? There is nothing to be gleaned. There is nothing to be earned by screwing with the silverback gorilla. You know, I guess you can mess around with Brandon Aiyuk since he doesn't even have a nickname. When a dude's nickname is I'm the silverback gorilla in a sport at a position where physically dominating your opponent is the job, how do you screw around with the guy whose nickname is silverback gorilla? Get it done. What are we doing? What are the 49ers doing with Trent Williams? Good Lord. I'm sure this is resonating greatly in the chat right now. By the way, Henry was our first guy in the chat today. Henry Garcia said, what happened to Damon show today? Well, it is the final week of tuning it up, letting the press in practice, and they had an early practice today, and Larry went down to cover practice. So that scuttled wake up. We will be back. The plan is to be back on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., and we're actually going to have a 53-man roster to talk about. Today would have just been another show of where is Trent, where is Brandon Aiyuk, and speculation about the edges of the roster and how it all shakes out. We will get the answers to all of what would have been today's questions by tomorrow. That means on Wednesday we'll be talking about this team with certainty, with authority, and with knowledge of who are the 49ers? We will know by Wednesday. So Damon and Larry Wake Up is back Wednesday morning. You can pretty much bet on it. Thank you, Henry, for asking and wanting more. Again, I'm looking forward to practice being wrapped up so Larry and I can get on our damn schedule. Postman and Capitolo, always great to see you, brother.
Oi, oi, oi!
Oi, 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 back at you. Look at what's going on in Green Bay. Big Mac, 8675. Our man used to be in the Bay. He had to go to another Bay, Green Bay. That's a Bay downgrade. Let's be totally honest. Carl, what's up, Blues? Carl, by the way, the Last Dive Bar guys, like half of my wardrobe comes from Last Dive Bar t-shirts these days. These guys just keep sending me awesome t-shirts. This looks like it would be a poster at the Fillmore for the final Battle of the Bay Bridge series game that just went on. So thank you very, very much. Look at Drew Down checking up. What up, Plusers? Just want to tap in with the homie D. Bruce. Shout out Ikes. Hell yeah, shout out Ikes and your homies and all the people and the Plusers and everyone. Look at Ed. He's trying to work it. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Ed Hakami. My man, Ed Hakami. CeeDee Lamb just got paid. Oh, did that happen while I was starting the show? What do we got here? Let me go check out some headlines right here. I'm guessing that would be the front page of ESPN. CeeDee Lamb agrees to a 4-year, $136 million deal. It is the second highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. A $38 million signing bonus, which is the largest ever given to a wide receiver. And those are the details that just came out about 13 minutes ago. CeeDee Lamb, a 4-year, $136 million contract. And if you think that that makes Brandon Aiyuk's contract easier to get done, maybe it does. Because you're not getting Justin Jefferson money. You're not getting CeeDee Lamb money. I know you think you're worth that, but the way that the Niners play means you're not going to get quite that. So now we have the ceiling. Let's come in one floor under the ceiling. You know, you might not be standing on the roof of the wide receiver pay scale, but how about living in the attic? Like, that's pretty good. So hopefully that brings some clarity and conclusion to the Brandon Aiyuk situation, which never has clarity or conclusion anywhere around it. Again, there were like 4 different Brandon Aiyuk, how the ripple effect of the Commanders-Eagles trade. I'm sure that there are a lot of content creators trying to get deep into what that might be. I'm not one of them because nobody's instincts are right on this. Nobody has this story down. There's not a 49er writer. There's not a Commander writer. There's not a national writer who really has a sure grasp as to what is about to go down between the 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk, and that is ridiculous. Again, Tuesday is cut down day. The 49ers have already made a big cut. Matt Breida has been released. He was the first 49er player to be released, and that doesn't mean that he was the easiest to cut. What that means is the 49ers respect Matt Breida greatly, and he might not have been able to make their team given what they have in the backfield. But Matt Breida is an NFL quality running back, and as teams make decisions now, Matt Breida's name is going to appear high on the waiver wire because he's one of the first guys on it. So that is the 49ers doing Breida a solid on the way out. No doubt about it. It's a sign of respect. They're getting his name in front of every other NFL GM. You want Breida the cheetah? There he is. You can go get him. Before you finish your, playing musical chairs on your own roster, here's one guy who didn't find a chair with us. Maybe he can find a chair with you. So we wish Matt Breida the very best. Also saw that their backup punter, was it Percy? Was it Harvin? What was his name? Is a backup punter. We don't even need to remember. He got waived too. People are like, hey, maybe you can trade him. You're not going to get anything for it. You can't trade a punter, a backup punter. No one's coming for your backup punter. They will wait till he hits waivers because no one's going to make that deal. But there you go. Big money for CeeDee Lamb. Big Mac is right. That's big money. Big money. Again, you can look at it this way. True Blue Forever saying that's not good news. Good news is CD just got paid. Oh, I know. I was saying it might be good news. Jamar Chase did give in and go to practice. He did. Bengals are eternally cheap, so we'll see what that does. Ed saying now BA is going to want more. No, he's not going to get more than that. Okay? You're just not going to get more than that. Carry on, thank you very much. Carry on. Pettiford. I mean, that name sounds like money, does it not? Have you met my son, Carry on Pettiford? Carry on Pettiford just gets back off the golf course at his country club and tells us to hit that like button. Thank you very much. Carry on Pettiford. You sound like one of the richest people in the world. What if I told you that the richest man in the world, his name is Carry On Pettiford? Would you believe me? I would. Love the show, Damon. Thank you, Bay Area Chris. I almost never get to watch it live. Greetings from Colorado this Monday. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for watching from the beautiful Rocky Mountain State. Like equals hit. Thank you very much. Hutch Serves Gaming. I can tell you, there are a lot of names that we saw pop up during last football season that we didn't necessarily see over the summer who are starting to pop up in the chat again. So it's great. It's great to see you. Thank you very much. We had our man, the Skills Report, put together like his own Skills Mania in the East Bay. He had a whole bunch of like-minded Plusser friends come on out and meet him, grab a couple beers in the East Bay. I got the pictures, so thank you very much, Skills, for sending that along. I love when the people who are becoming friends in the chat become friends in real life, and this is the goofy little community that we're building here. It really is. It's awesome. It's really great. What else? We got a lot going on in the chat right now. Lots going on in the chat. I would agree with this. Trent is more important than Brandon Aiyuk. Look at it this way. Brandon Aiyuk can help the 49ers. Trent Williams protects the 49ers. So there is a difference there. You know, you are playing fast, loose, and reckless with Brock Purdy's career when you screw around with Trent Williams. You know, maybe you're playing fast and loose with Brock Purdy's career if you don't bring back Brandon Aiyuk. But reckless, it's not a reckless decision. Not having Trent Williams out there protecting your quarterback's blind side is a reckless decision in my mind. Absolutely it is. So I would seriously hope that the 49ers stop acting so reckless with a season that begins in less than 2 weeks. Okay? I mean, again, all the time you had to iron this out, you're all out of time. You got to get these pants off the ironing board, put them on your body, and go to work. You have no more time to iron this suit any longer. It should all be worked out by now. East Bay Ricardo, hip thrust. Ooh. Hip thrust the like button. Okay.
Pound it, pound it, pound it, pound it.
Sexy. Very, very sexy. Thank you, East Bay Ricardo. So, ripple effect of Commanders Eagle trade. I'm not even clicking on that story. I don't give a shit. Sign Brandon Aiyuk, sign Trent Williams. What are you doing? You trying to win a Super Bowl? You're just trying to like pussyfoot around maybe being a Super Bowl contender and think that you're good enough, but you might not be good enough. And if you were, asking me, how would you whittle away the 49ers Super Bowl odds? Well, I would say, take away their number one wide receiver and then take away the guy who protects Brock Purdy. That'd be a good way to go about muddling your own chances to return to a Super Bowl. I mean, what am I? I'm just a guy on YouTube. What the hell do I know, right? Again, Brandon Aiyuk, difficult and complex. There is nothing complex or difficult about Trent Williams. You send his agent an email. What's your boy's number to get him to work? Agent sends Niners reply email with the number on it. Jed York pulls out a pen, checkbook, writes that number, signs it, sends it to Trent, get a courier, send it to him, and then try to get back to the Super Bowl. Tuesday is cut down day. By the way, maybe the single most interesting thing that happened in the NFL over the weekend was the weekend that we saw out of a former 49er hopeful quarterback, Trey Lance. Trey Lance had the greatest worst afternoon in NFL preseason box score history this weekend. He was 33 of 49 for 323 yards, 11 carries, 90 more yards on the ground, and 2 touchdowns. I believe he also had 5 interceptions and fumbled twice. Oh, I mean, it's one of the hardest to explain, most. You got to look at it twice, box score lines you've ever seen in your entire life. Like, there's no doubt that Trey Lance he's got talent, but he's still raw as hamburger meat. And what are you going to do with him? He's only 24 years old. What he needs is the one thing that he's now guaranteed to not get, and that's reps. Trey Lance should be the poster child for the NFL's developmental league. Made a choice to come out of college, probably before he should have made it. The temptation to stay in college, was overwhelmed by the 49ers draft position. Then Trey Lance himself got overwhelmed by the NFL, its speed and how to adapt to it. He is mastering elements of it, but clearly with 5 interceptions is still being overwhelmed by the NFL. And now he is going to be overwhelmed by the fact that Dak Prescott is going to get his deal done. He is going to be in Dallas, and he is going to be the Cowboys quarterback of the now and the future because Jerry Jones doesn't have the balls to walk away. And Trey Lance did nothing to say, hey, I'm the next man up for the job. Not really. So what are we going to see out of Trey Lance now, who hasn't even elevated himself to the backup quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys? That's still Cooper Rush. So that guy's career is just dying in limbo. And look, the Dallas Cowboys couldn't have given him any more run. He was on the field for all 93 plays this past weekend. He's gotten 116 total snaps in the first 2 preseason games. Lance led the league in several categories this preseason. He finished with 660 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, all thrown in one game. He was sacked 6 times as a passer. He also went for 168 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns on 24 carries. And you couldn't trust that guy to go out and play a football game for you? Not at all. Not one that really mattered. Did the 49ers set their franchise back by drafting Trey Lance? The answer is a very loud maybe, because it's also a maybe not since they found Brock Purdy, which has saved everybody's bacon and reputation in ways that can't even be described. Trey Lance was a gamble that at the time Kyle thought was worth taking. I think Kyle totally conned himself and fell for the okey doke about what his offense truly needs and the allure of having somebody who might be a Patrick Mahomes guy. I think Patrick Mahomes panic went into the Kyle draft pick of Trey Lance. Trey Lance did not fit, does not fit, is not fit to go out and actually play an NFL game that matters, but he might be one day. Again, he's only 24. 33 of 49 for 323 yards, 11 carries, 90 yards. Those are PlayStation numbers. That's a really big afternoon. 5 interceptions. That is one of the biggest screaming, get that guy off the field, he ain't ready yet, numbers too. So 2 steps forward, 2 steps back with Trey Lance, which leaves him still stuck on go, which is the problem. He can't get off a go. Poor guy. What else we got going on? Look, the biggest takeaways from the 49er preseason finale was the ones, that night's ones got a good night of work in Las Vegas. That comical band is on the field ending is as much fun as you can have on the final play of a preseason game. And did you notice that no one still had any fun at all during it? So thank God the preseason is over. Isaac Guerrero absolutely stood out in this game. I think he had secured himself a roster spot. He definitely is one now. Still saw flashes from Cowing and Malik Mustafa. This is a good sign. Can't wait to see the rookie season that they're about to have. Dominic Pooney. Dominic Pooney is becoming a favorite player to highlight of guys who love offensive line highlight reels. Jeff Schwartz, Brian Baldinger, they love these dudes. They love Dominic Pooney. And this guy is got so much potential that it's very exciting to watch play out. So Pooney, Mustafa, and Cowing look like the 3 of them alone could turn this last draft into a really good draft class. That's before you even get to Ricky Pearsall, who, by the way, is at practice this Monday and is on track to be rostered and ready to go week 1. We'll see what Ricky Pearsall looks like in the regular season. We did not get to know him during training camp or the preseason. So Ricky Pearsall is still to be heard from. Obviously, Renardo Green is a guy who's flashed. We're not even talking about him in terms of making this draft class a very successful draft class. And those are the first 2 picks of this draft class. So this could be a very special draft class when it's all said and done. Most important thing, as we started the entire show with today, is that neither Leonard Floyd nor Yetur Gross-Matos were injured in any serious way in Las Vegas. Leonard Floyd is day-to-day. Gross-Matos is week-to-week, and both could be out there. Certainly, Leonard Floyd, Gross-Matos, too, in week 1 against the Jets. So, if the 49ers would just go sign Trent Williams and Brandon Aiyuk and put that in the rearview mirror, there is nothing but a big, bright future of the 2024 NFL season in front of the 49ers. Until then, they have lingering rain clouds over any kind of parade that they want to throw. There's just no other way to say it. No other way to say it. Like and subscribe, my good friends, my good people. It is great to have you here. We got Bay Area sports. I feel like Damon has a hard time understanding the word budget and focused on the present and the future, which he said 100 times over. There is no future that matters to this year's budget when you're trying to win a Super Bowl. I understand that anything that is an NFL salary cap number, it's like a radio rating. It can be manipulated any way you want it to. You can manipulate these numbers. You can dance around everything in an NFL salary cap. Parag Marathe literally lives, I think, in Atherton because he's so good at doing that. Why he wouldn't be good at doing that now is beyond me. Steve says, I think Aiyuk is gone. He'll be going to Washington for Davante Adams. Well, Davante Adams doesn't play in Washington. He plays in Vegas. Thank you for this content. Thank you, Mr. BMW Lotus, for being here. Damon El Fuego. Damon Toe Jam and Earl Bruce. I wish I was as good as Toe Jam and Earl, right? Indiana Jim says, I think this all gets resolved in time to prep for the Jets, and this will be something we look back at and laugh. I hope you're right. I hope you are right. Silverback Gorilla is one hell of a nickname. Isn't it, Leslie? It really is. Mike Crocker says, let's talk Ricky Pearsall. So my man never missed a college game and has an injury at the end of last offseason. They're being cautious, and y'all claiming he's a bust? Really? Come on, guys. I would agree with you, Mike. Look, we don't know. I will say this, the beginning of his career, I am galactically unimpressed, but that doesn't mean he's not about to have an impressive rookie season. He might. He might. We do not know. It's hard to tell what he is about to be, what he is about to do. I don't like it, though, when guys get hurt, when they haven't had a lick of contact, though. That hurts. Todd is saying BA never signing. Well, then they should have traded him a couple of months ago, don't you think? Again, they played the waiting game way too long. Played the waiting game way too long. You know, you either get aggressive and get it done, or here you are. Ian saying, Juju Smith-Schuster officially a Chief again. Now we got weapons. Hey, it's a good move for Kansas City. I'm not surprised at all that they reach back to him. Damon, is this their first cut down? Isn't there a few? Yeah, there are a few cut downs. They've waived a few guys, but Breida was the first. Leslie says, I can't believe Breida the Cheetah got released. He was having some great games. He really wasn't, though. You go inside the numbers of his games. He had one catch that felt productive. He really didn't move the ball in any way that was, enough for this team to think about letting go somebody else to keep him around. Harvin. That's right. That was his last name. The punter's last name. Harvin. You can trade punters for footballs. Yeah, you could, right? Oh, Ian wants everyone to know the Raiders are not as good as the Chiefs. Ian with some deep thinkery right there. Thank you. Kevin is checking in from Houston, Texas. Thank you very much, Kevin, for checking in. Yee-haw. $49er, thank you for the consistency, DB. I may not always tap in, but when I do and you're there, I am never disappointed. Well, thank you, $49er, very much. Rashi Rice says he wants to be a leader. Take the car keys and let him lead. All right. Lots of things going on here. Lots of things going on here in the chat. We will get back to it in just a second because there's a few other things that I got to tell you before we hop back into the chat here. It won't be an official Club Plus. We'll keep it in part of the podcast as well as we get back into the chat. Maybe we'll Club Plus it up on a Tuesday. Blow it up on a Tuesday. By the way, made the coffee a little bit late. It's been hot. Let's see where we are. I would say that's a sip of the day, but I already kind of like passed it. That's a little, I bet you the sip of the day was really there for me about 15 minutes ago, but I was ranting. I forgot. But there you go. There's your symbolic sippo of the day. So the San Francisco Giants have officially entered their buy one, get one ticket for free portion of the season. I got that email this morning. You can buy one, get one free to a Giants game, which means they're a sizzling 66-66 on the year now. You cannot find a more boring, a more pedestrian, a more no reason to really get excited about anything baseball team than the San Francisco Fricken Giants. They are remarkably dull. They've dropped 3 of 4. And have seen each of their last 3 games decided by 1 run. But hey, they're 5 games out of the wild card. Robbie Ray with a strained hamstring over the weekend. An MRI reveals that they absolutely should have traded him at the speed of light the minute he looked good. You should have done the exact same thing with Blake Snell. You should have done the exact same thing with Camilo Duvall before the bloom came off of his rose. You probably should have done the same thing with Matt Chapman, who leads the team in WAR and might have been able to fetch you something that you could have gone forward with in the future. But they did nothing, and because of that, they're officially going nowhere fast. Your San Francisco Giants. Giants will be in Milwaukee tomorrow. Both the Giants and A's are off this Monday. The Giants are going to be in Milwaukee, so get ready for Dwayne Kuiper Kringle references. A lot of former Wisconsin pastries will be referenced during this series against the Brewers. The A's are in Cincinnati starting on Tuesday, so get ready for a whole bunch of Queen City chili jokes coming out of Cincinnati. And let's see. Speaking of eating, I think it's important to remind ourselves that we should eat the rich. I'm telling you, I understand that, you can dabble in some luxurious items once you make an awful lot of money, but you shouldn't. So I just saw that a jersey that Babe Ruth wore when he hit his called shot around the world, his called home run at Wrigley Field, the jersey that Babe Ruth wore that day just fetched $24.12 million, setting the record for the most expensive sports collectible ever sold at an auction. $24.12 million. So some rich fuck can go down to his man cave and go, look at what I've got framed. Again, imagine what you could have done with $24 million in a community. Imagine what you could have done with $24 million just walking around a nursery school and finding parents who could really use the help. Imagine the impact that would have had. Nope, this son of a bitch needed a Babe Ruth jersey. The only thing that I can hope for, like the way I root for John Fisher's private plane to crash, is, no, by the way, not with anyone on board on it. I just want John Fisher to be inconvenienced. I want to have him to ride a Greyhound bus from his mansion in, Pacific Heights up to Sacramento so he can watch Aaron Judge hit bombs in a minor league ballpark, since no one would go there to actually watch the A's. I want the guy who just bought a Babe Ruth jersey for $24 million to frame that jersey, put it in his man cave, and the same day his house burns down. That's what I want. That's what I want. There is much in the news about the NBA and Warner Brothers and lawsuits and lawyers. Basically, the NBA said, we're going with Amazon over you, Warner Brothers, which means TNT, you're not getting the games that you want to. It's your last year. And Warner Brothers says, hey, wait a minute, we had the right to match that. But now, and this is real inside broadcasting bullshit here, but basically, Amazon said, yeah, we are like one of the biggest streaming companies in the world. Warner Brothers, you are a lot of things, but you ain't that, and you ain't got the money to do this no more. And we're going to put the money that we're telling that the NBA is getting, and we're going to put it in escrow. So it's guaranteed to be there over this next 11 years. Now, Warner Brothers, whose stock price is cratering, can't do that. And they are being further embarrassed. Not only did they lose the NBA playing a game of chicken that they shouldn't have gotten into with somebody who's got a bigger wallet than you do, but they're losing out now in public perception as the NBA is going into court to show everybody like how dead network and linear television truly is. So bad day to be a Warner Brothers stockholder. Luckily, I'm guessing most of us aren't, right? By the way, what you want to be is a Steph Curry stockholder, because when it comes to ratings, no one is at the center of better basketball ratings than he. Saw this. Since 2015, there have been 27 NBA games that have drawn more than 14 million viewers. Steph Curry has appeared in only 27 of them. Steph Curry is box office. Steph Curry has been part of the most watched first round series in the last 25 years. He's been part of the second most watched second round game in 13 years. He has been part of the most watched conference finals game in the last 13 years. He has been part of the highest Christmas Day rating in 14 years. Steph Curry has been part of the highest rated NBA finals game in 26 years. And now Steph Curry has officially been part of the highest rated Olympic basketball game in 28 years. In other words, first name Stephen, last name Curry. That guy is worth the price of admission. And what I would like to return to the whole Warner Brothers lawsuit thing for, and just show everyone, this is the lesson that media is forgetting as it's happening, and we're learning it in real time. No one gives a shit about a station now that people have channels. Okay? It doesn't matter where the game is. I just want to watch it. We don't care that it's not on TNT. We don't care. There's no element of TNT's broadcast that anybody cares about beyond, geez, Kevin Harlan's really good at this, and the Charles Barkley Inside the NBA crew is incredibly entertaining. That show can be picked up and streamed anywhere, plucked from and put anywhere. Charles Barkley says, I'm going down with the ship on TNT, then it looks like Chuck's going to go down with that ship. Watch how quickly that changes once the judges come back and say, yeah, Warner Brothers, you got nothing here. First name Stephen, last name Curry. Nobody puts more eyeballs on a sport than that guy. Except, of course, Caitlin Clark, who puts more eyeballs on her sport than just about anybody else. And that is going to bring us to this day in history in just a second, because there is another really interesting thing that I saw. This is kind of out of nowhere, but I'm going to share it with you anyways. The stat of the day shared by Dan Lebitard, I just thought was really interesting. It combines a couple of different sports to make a stat of the day, which just illuminates how long LeBron has been really good at this. But it's interesting, and it involves a 49er, so here we go. The stat of the day offered by Dan Lebitard was LeBron James averaged 27.2 points per game when Frank Gore entered the NFL. Now LeBron James is averaging 25.7 points per game as Frank Gore's son enters the NFL. That is incredible. Basically, LeBron James has been the same guy for the entirety of Frank Gore's kid's life. Isn't that incredible? Are you ready for a little history lesson here? Should we hop back into the chat real quick and then we'll do our history lesson? Let's do it that way. Let's do it that way. Saying, hey, Vince Vargas is like, hey, man, Lance made some really good plays. Also, just saying, those turnovers, again, Trey Lance, and this is so right here. DJ Melvis says, Trey Lance played like me playing on all Madden mode for the very first time. It's like me playing on Heisman mode. Again, I'll put 300 yards of air travel up, but I'll throw 4 or 5 interceptions against that Heisman mode with an Indiana quarterback. So, yeah, I hear you. Jimmy G to Trey Lance, 5 interceptions, huh? Hold my beer and porn star. Thank you very much. My balls, Zach Ertz says, Trey Lance is the biggest scam in history. He's not a scam. He's an alluring, raw talent that hopefully you got in the 5th round. Not the kind of guy you flipped 3 first-rounders to trade up and get. Trey Lance is not the scam, but Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch were the rubes that looked at him and thought, yeah, there's our entire future right there. Cap is saying, look, Trey's 5 picks were impressive and 2 fumbles. It's really something else, isn't it? Trey was a worse pick than Jaminkus. Well, look, Jaminkus started NFL games. Jaminkus had himself an NFL career. I don't know if we're going to see that for Trey. You can't say that, not yet. Can't say that, not yet. And look, it's better to be driven out of the league because you just weren't quite good enough than to have the talent to be in the league, but you can't stop drinking bottles at Dimetap enough to be taken seriously. I don't know where this came from, but Poonie balls. Yeah, Poonie balls. Poonie power. Me so Poonie. Me so Poonie. I've seen that one online too. Frisco Pisco just wants to say, hey, everybody, eat at Ike's. Eat at Ike's. Support the sponsorships. Absolutely. By the way, still over 200 people in this room right now. Do we have 200 likes? Have we got 200 likes officially? Oh, no, we're only at 138 likes. Let's go. Let's get that to 200 likes. Make it happen. Man, I can't do it all. Can't do it all. I'm going to ask you to come in here and do a little there, too. CT Niner says, Damon, who is your favorite rookie this preseason not named Poonie? I think it's a tie between Malik Mustafa and Jacob Cowing. Cowing, the little bit that we've seen from him is flashed in a way that makes me think, okay, they got something there. And Malik Mustafa, again, he just needs to learn how to slow down a little bit, and that guy's going to be a player, absolute player. UC Steve says, hey, Damon, did you watch the Little League World Series? It was more fun than watching the Giants. Well, if the kids put the ball in play, maybe. Postman in Capitola wants to know when we're achieving maximum football.
Maximum football!
We will reach maximum football Monday night, September 9th. That's when we'll be at maximum football. Otis, my man, what a disappointing series in Seattle for the Giants. What a disappointing season for the Giants. What a disappointing seasons for the Giants. Ahmad Z just saying, hey, man, Ricky Pearsall is a bust. Not now. He's no. No. He might be, but he's not yet. Again, Ricky Pearsall is 4 catches and 1 touchdown away from being your favorite 49er in week 1 if he were to have something like that, okay? Let's see what Ricky Pearsall does in a game that actually matters since he hasn't played in any games that don't matter. We don't know what Ricky Pearsall is, other than apparently a little bit fragile at the start of his career. We'll see if that plagues him or haunts him or doesn't. Albert just wants to know, who does that? Who has time? Well, Gary Radnich shout. Yeah, the NBA is getting $76 billion. Imagine being able to put $76 billion or whatever Amazon's chunk of that is in escrow. In other words, we already got it. Already got it. Come and get it. What is this? Steph Curry, Laker uniform? Somebody? No. Steph Curry is a lot of things. The dude who runs to another town to join someone ain't one of them. He's not. Are you ready for your history lesson? We wrap up today's show with a little history lesson for you. We go all the way back to 1429. On this day, August 26th, 1429, Joan of Arc, the original WNBA team, Joan of Arc, invaded Paris to drive out the English. Didn't go well for Joan. Didn't go well. But her name echoes throughout history. And if we talk about who are the all-time female badasses, Joan of Arc is on the list. She still holds a top 10 position in female badassery, and we haven't heard from her since 1429. So, way to go, Joan of Arc. The original WNBA team. Today in 1920, speaking of women and women power, all you ladies who are in the chat today, you're going to like this one. Today in 1920, the 19th Amendment became part of the Constitution, guaranteeing the women the right to vote. Ladies, cheers. You go ahead and you exercise that right this November for us, would you please? Everything should be okay if you do. Thank you, ladies. Speaking of thank you, ladies, in this case, thank you, lady, because today in 1970, Melissa McCartney was born. Happy birthday, Melissa McCartney. McCarthy, excuse me, not McCartney. That's Paul McCartney's, Melissa McCarthy. She could have won Best Supporting Actress for her turn in Bridesmaids. She was so funny in that movie. I love her. I love her in that movie. She is so good. Melissa McCarthy, happy birthday. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who are gamers, for those of you who every now and then decide to put one in the air, sit on down, play some PlayStation, play a little first-person shooter, the first-person shooter that launched them all was released in North America 27 years ago today. We got our hands on the first copy of GoldenEye 007. The only contribution that Timothy Dalton really ever made to the Barry Bonds, the James Bond, canon. GoldenEye was such an important first-person shooter. You don't get Call of Duty without GoldenEye. You don't get Horizon. You don't get all these other, since that game came out, first-person shooters that are, I mean, it all, you can trace it all back to GoldenEye, the way you can basically like trace back all concept albums to what? Sgt. Pepper's, you know? And that's probably not the first concept album, but it was one of the big ones. No doubt about that. Certainly bigger than Mr. Roboto by Styx. So there you go. That's all you need. Happy anniversary, GoldenEye. Happy anniversary, Joan of Arc didn't go well. Happy anniversary, 19th Amendment. Happy birthday, Melissa McCarthy. And I hope you, wherever you are having a fabulous day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting, not just the channel. It was a super chat free show, so all of you should be cloaked in a little bit of shame for sure. But that's all right. We're going to let it go because I do believe that you are preparing to support this channel all coming football season, get the views up, be watching what we do. By the way, there's a lot of people who will watch a live show but don't watch any of the shorts that we produce or the other videos. There's a lot of people who watch the shorts and the videos who don't watch the live show. Feel free to cross-pollinate. Feel free to hop back and forth. Feel free to share this channel with your friends. There's a little share button right there. You can go ahead and be like, if you're a Niner fan, if you're a football fan, this is the show you need in your life because it's an actual adult not panicking over sports headlines, but trying to break down what could be happening because he's been around the block once or twice. This is what we give to you. This is what we give it to you here. We give it to you for free. Please go ahead, please find your way to my sponsors. If you're going to go look for a new sports book, check out BetUS. If you're going to go look for a sandwich, check out Ike's. If you're going to go looking for a great sports Irish bar in San Francisco, check out the Dubliner West Portal. We got a lot of, hey, Damon, wait a minute. Doom and Mortal Kombat changed the gaming era too, certainly. Wolfenstein, was this going to push the walls for secret rooms? Yes, that was a big one. Let's see. We got some people saying technically Doom was the first person shooter, but it wasn't on console, right? It wasn't on like a game console. GoldenEye changed everything in terms of at-home play. So there you go. I don't know where this came from, but Joni loves Chachi. Thank you very much, Indiana Jim. Joni indeed did love Chachi. K Merch, San Francisco. You're the best, Damon. I watch all the pollinations. Well, thank you for cross-pollinating. Thank you very, very much. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor. And oh, by the way, you can check out, are you ready for this? Check out Def Leppard, Journey, Steve Miller Band, August 28th. That is this coming Wednesday. Go to sfgiants.com/rock for tickets and info. They're hooking me up with a nice pair of tickets for that, and it'll probably be the last time I go into the ballpark all year long. I don't know if the Giants are going to get me back there. So there you go. Check out BetUS. Check out Ike's. Check out the Dubliner. Check out that concert coming up on Wednesday night, and make sure you check out your best path to having a great week. That's what I wish for all of you. Thank you very much for supporting the product that is, for liking, for subscribing. If you haven't already, get on board, drop a like on your way out. In the meantime, thank you for watching, for listening. Download that podcast as well. Anywhere you get your podcasts, you can find it there. This is going to be a really fun football season. We're getting closer to it by the day. Sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone.